has a plan for oil, and it's quite interesting. We'll have Congressman Pfluger respond to this. What Texas Railroad Commissioner Wayne Christian said about oil.
And you're going to have a run from Saudi Arabia wanting to control it, Russia wanting to control it, of course, China, all these guys, and you're going to have a run on who's going to control these oil fields. Well, if Donald Trump is in control of the negotiations with Iran at this time, he could tie that in and we regulate it. So I've approached Congressman Pfluger, and he said this is a great idea. I called Tim Stewart, and I said, why not let Texas meet with the administration, and we produce a new regulatory authority for Argentina, Venezuela, Iran, all of these sources. We would be larger than OPEC, and Texas would be controlling the price.
All right, Congressman August Pfluger joining us now on the radio on KWEL. Congressman, I'm assuming you were able to hear that from Wayne Christian. Welcome in, first of all. Good morning.
Well, good morning. I'm coming to you from the district, from Texas, where I flew back last night. A busy couple of weeks as we got started, love the ideas that Commissioner Christian and others are coming up with. And I'll start by saying this. I mean, just in a response. I mean, my number one priority right now is making sure that Permian Basin production remains the crown jewel of the United States domestic production, that it remains the crown jewel of the Make America Great theme, and that we just take care of that. So that really is my main concern, and how Iran and Venezuela and all these other countries kind of play into it. Obviously we will take a very, very good look at it. I agree with the commissioner. I mean, what the Texas Railroad Commission can do, 1 million barrels a day. And there's a lot of things right now that I do have some concerns about, and that's why I'm so laser focused on making sure that the Permian Basin remains the top producer in the country, and that has a predictable future for producing our own needs and that of our allies and our partners around the world.
Do you believe, Congressman, that maybe OPEC has been, shall we say, neutered quite a bit?
Well, certainly. I mean, just a couple of years ago, I mean, back to the days where we were at 1 million barrels a day, they had a lot of power because the shale revolution hadn't fully developed and hadn't happened, and our production wasn't up. So, yes, I mean, absolutely. But we've got to make sure that we continue to think of our production, what we do in West Texas, as a national security tool. I think of it that way, and that's why, it sounds good to others around the country. Oh yeah, we'll get to $40 a barrel. Well, I'm every single time I hear that, I'm throwing caution into the wind to say, guys, that's not necessarily, maybe in the short term that is good for one industry, but it's not good for the entirety of the economy. So if you really do want to neuter OPEC, and you really do want to use this as a geopolitical tool, you've got to keep it in that band, which we know is mid-60s to mid-80s, and helps everybody in our economy. It's the foundation of everything we do, and it's predictable, so we can continue drilling and make sure that we remain strong and that our country remains strong as a result of that.
Yeah, lots of people out here believe that, hey, gosh, we're going to have this big glut, and it's going to bring down the price. Now, the price of gasoline will come down, as you mentioned, around the country. People will love that, but and the economy is driven by oil, of course.
It absolutely is, 100%. And, around the world, you're a little over 100 million barrels a day. How Venezuela, kind of folds into this, they do have a product that we import into the United States and we use for gasoline. It's a much different product than we produce in West Texas, so it doesn't necessarily directly compete with us. But overall, I mean, this is a market, and that's why making sure that our policies, which we have done to deregulate, to get rid of the red tape, to get rid of the bureaucracy, and to give producers here in West Texas every bit of predictability to continue producing, knowing that what they're doing provides us a national security tool. I mean, that this is where I spend most of my day, is thinking about these things.
It's 18 away from 8, windy, little dust out the wind the way it looks, and August Pfluger's with us, our congressman. Congressman, you voted to defund the $315 million to the Democracy Fund, and if you don't mind explaining that.
Well, what we did, let me give you the bigger picture of what we did this week, which was we voted to move appropriations. There are 12 separate appropriations packages and 12 different funding streams. We in the House have now passed 8 of those 12. We'll get the next 4 in this coming week, next week. And this will be the first time in almost 20-something years that we have done that. And this is a really big moment for us. But we are cutting spending. We're cutting what Biden did. We've been operating this whole year on Biden-level funding, on Biden spending packages. And as a conservative, I'm not okay with that. It took us a minute to get here. Obviously, Democrats shut the government down for 43 days. And so really what I did this week was to help push Trump spending levels, to help push cuts, right things, and to make sure that Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth and all the rest of the secretaries in the government, that they have their the ability to not only capture the DOGE cuts, which we have done, but to run their organizations with oversight so we don't have crazy left-wing radical programs in there. And I'm proud of what we did this past week.
Okay, we will bring in some phone calls. Welcome into the broadcast on KWEL with Congressman August Pfluger. Good morning.
Hey, are you talking to me?
I am. Good morning.
Let me get this radio turned down. Hey, yeah, man, that's just what I wanted to ask Pfluger about. Now, I don't know. I just read that he voted to give $90 billion to foreign NGOs. Is that? Am I understanding that correct, Pfluger?
And Craig, I'm having a hard time hearing the question.
He asked if you voted $90 million to what was it again you were talking about, caller?
Foreign NGOs.
Foreign NGOs.
We voted to drastically cut foreign aid, and we were exactly in line with where President Trump wanted to be. So what I voted on was a new package of national security type funding, where the president asked us to cut certain programs, to keep certain programs in place, and it resulted in literally billions of dollars of cuts. So very, very proud of where we landed on this, and the president supported every single thing that we did this week, and I was 100% in line with where he wanted us to be, because they're looking at this every day, the fraud, waste, and abuse. I mean, let's just, let's talk about that for a minute. Look at what's happening in Minnesota. You can look at that with regards to our foreign funding, and every program that we passed this week has eyes on it, Marco Rubio and the president looking at where that money is going with oversight that has been much needed.
I'm sorry, just took a big gulp there. 7:45 now on KWEL AM 1070 and FM 107.1. Welcome into the broadcast with Congressman August Pfluger. Good morning.
Morning, Craig. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Good. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm 71 years old. I can remember my father in the 1960s commenting on the federal welfare programs as they were building, and he basically referred to them as vote buying. And you know what? He was right. He saw it even then. And what makes me mad, we're buying votes for the other party. And I'm getting really tired of digging my own grave and paying for the shovel. Every one of the welfare programs needs to be turned off completely, immediately. And if a state wants the money, they can request a block grant, and they need to be financially responsible that if any fraud is found in it, the state pays the feds back for the fraud. And there needs to be criminal penalties for the people administering it. There needs to be accountability, and the reason only 10% or 25% of people vote in elections is they figured out there's no accountability in the federal government. And if that sounds harsh, life is harsh.
It does not sound harsh. You're absolutely right. 100%. Go back to July 4th, the gnashing of the teeth as we passed the One Big Beautiful Bill, the very first time where any accountability since the 1960s has been injected into the welfare system, and it started with work requirements. If you're going to receive a federal benefit, whether it's food programs or whether it's Medicaid programs, then you have to be you have to show that you are working, that you're doing something, and that something for the very first time is now 80 hours a week. If you're an able-bodied adult, it's different if you're a disabled veteran, it's different if you're elderly, but if you're between the ages of 18 and 65 years old, you have to now be working. Secondly, what I am pushing right this minute is that states have to report to us who is on their rolls. They don't do that right now. They don't do it for Medicaid, they don't do it for SNAP, for the food benefits, and they have to report when they're duplicative because people will register in one state and then register in a second state. We know that there are billions of dollars of fraud. What happened in Minnesota is just scratching the surface of the iceberg that we know is happening in California and New York and Illinois, and I 100% agree with you. And we tell you, Democrats almost lost their minds when we did that in July on the SNAP program and on the Medicaid program of making sure that they were actually doing some work. It has made a huge effect. It is saving us billions of dollars, and there's much more to be done. You're not harsh. Accountability is needed, and we are getting to the bottom of it. And I can tell you, this is a very tough program. It didn't happen overnight. It's taken us 50, 60, 70 years to get to this point, and now that's exactly what we're trying to peel back the onion and reset in a way where there is accountability.
All right, Congressman August Pfluger on a windy, dusty day. Congressman, if you don't mind, I've heard this debate about congressmen get a special deal for their health care and don't have to be involved with Obamacare. I don't believe that's right, but I'll let you fill me in.
No, there is no special deal. You know, the fact that I served in the military and earned my health care through the military is how I get my health care. But you are required in Congress, in all of our staff has been required to look at that Obamacare program as your primary program. We have pushed back on that in the last couple of years because we think it's so egregious. And secondly, I am also proposing right now a massive health care. We're very proud, Craig, this week to have released a Reconciliation 2.0 framework. And in that framework, I specifically call out Obamacare, and I say, if you like your Obamacare, keep it. That's fine. But what I really want to give you is a choice where you can shop across state lines for a new program, where the money that's coming to the insurance companies does not go directly to them. It goes to you in the form of a health savings account. You have the choice of where you spend that. Next week, Craig, we will have the insurance company CEOs testifying in front of Congress, and you better believe I'm going to be asking very, very tough questions about why they, along with Democrats, designed Obamacare to drain our federal treasury, and it doesn't deliver good health care and accessible health care, and it's not transparent, and it's not competitive. So no, we do not get special health care. In fact, we're tied to what I'll say is the worst health care, which we know is not transparent or competitive, and that's Obamacare.
All right, so many things are going on. Congressman August Pfluger, Greenland, what are your thoughts on Greenland? Why do we need Greenland? Are we getting into nation building here, or what are your thoughts?
You know, look, I believe that there's a strategic value when it comes to the Arctic and the threat that we see from Russia. But my approach maybe is slightly different than what we're seeing today out of the White House. And I really honestly think in in an America First kind of a mentality, that working with our NATO allies and not being so threatening is not a bad thing. Let's maybe take the temperature down a little bit, because there's so many things domestically, and we just heard two callers talking about domestic issues, which is really where I'm focused on domestic oil production, how we get some accountability into our into the welfare programs and into the healthcare programs. So yes, there is strategic value there. But maybe turning the temperature down on that a little bit would help us. I'm aligned with the president when it comes to making sure that we protect against the threats. 100% he did the right thing by taking Maduro, who was under an indictment in the Southern District of New York. That's the right call. Get that guy off the streets. Make sure Iran doesn't threaten us. All of the things he's doing in a national security mentality are right. We had 4 years of Biden who didn't have a heartbeat, barely a pulse to think about national security. So, but when it comes to these things, I really am focused on what we're doing here, especially in the Permian Basin.
All right, we don't have a lot of time, so we would ask our caller to be as quick as possible, but you're on the air next on KWEL. Good morning.
Good morning. I have a question. On the 81 Republicans that voted with Democrats on this National Endowment for Democracy, kind of explain to me why this happened.
Well, it's a good question. It goes back to the overall bill that we passed cut billions of dollars of foreign spending. It cut billions of dollars of wasteful spending. President Trump didn't ask for any of those amendments. He wanted the bill as it was written to be delivered to Marco Rubio to allow Marco and the rest of those agencies to do what they need to do to administer accountability. So these are hard things to weave, but very proud of what we've been doing to get accountability, to make sure that there are no radical leftists that are running any of these programs. And I mean, look at what the president started with last year with Elon Musk coming in to the Department of State in his DOGE efforts. You better believe he wanted accountability, and he's done that. And this overall passage of the bill gives the tools to the president, the ones he specifically asked for, to have that, to administer a strong national security program. And you know, these are very tough things. I will remind everyone, we have a one-seat majority. We just had a congressman from California who passed away. There is no room for error at all. And in order to pass a bill, which is not Biden's bill, this is Trump's bill. Now it's Trump's bill. They're weaving through a very, very tight corridor, and you know, he's doing. The president is asking us to do things that are virtually impossible, but we're able to get them done.
All right, Congressman, we're out of time, and then some. We got to run. Thanks for your time. God bless, and we appreciate you.
Craig, thank you. God bless everybody in the Permian Basin. Know that I'm standing up for you for the production of affordable, reliable energy. Knowing that we're going through a tough time with it, but we are the strength of our country, and I very much appreciate what everybody does. And when I go to Washington, D.C., that is in the forefront of my mind every single minute that I'm up there. God bless.
All right, Colonel.